married to somebody who beats me. That's the way I feel about our relationship as a state with Exxon, or with the major producers, I should say. That they've taken advantage, and at the same time they've abused, and then they also are like, look, it's a shiny new arena. Look, it's sparkly, and everybody goes, oh. How do you see this, Kent?
Well, reference to the oil spill that took place in the past. The issue is the oil was spilling. Where was our containment barge? It had nothing to do with the drunk captain. It could have been for any reason that the vessel went on the rocks. It wasn't double hulled, that's okay. But where was our containment barge? Very controllable situation here. It was onshore, frozen in ice. So we're wrong as Alaskans for not policing our own waters. Very simple situation. Contain it, pump it right back on the boat, plug up the hole. End of scenario. In the same sense, be it Red Dog Mine with their holding ponds of all the toxics, or the wannabe gold mine coming up, that they're going to build a pond, and I mentioned to you yesterday a little bit, don't build a pond. You need 2 double-hull tankers. Pump all that stuff in there. Figure out...
And take it where?
Well, the authorities who handle toxics have to deal with that issue. I don't have this information. But one thing's for sure, for certain. It does not get stored on the land close to where it can spill. End of story. So they'll have to, or re-burn it, or whatever it takes, put it in there, in the government and their...
Yeah, or
their
just
control.
not have a pebble mine.
Fair enough.
I'm picking that one.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so you can bring in commercial mining, you can bring in the oil companies in this conversation. How is it that how are we supposed to react when we need something that also hurts us at the same time?
Okay, then we have to consult those that have the answers to that very question. How do we dispose of...
Okay, well then, Dean?
The toxics.
I'm a big fan of a brave guy called Ethan Berkowitz, who stood on the floor of the legislature and said, this is our house. We're here to represent the people of Alaska. And he did that because he saw the very direct influence of the oil companies. And as, you know, criminal activity was going on.
So I think he mentioned that people were going to go to jail for what happened that day, and they did.
Yep.
And now we see this want to roll back ACEs, which I think, if it's not evident now, I really should be fair and balanced and say I'm not a big Palin fan. You know, and it really, that legislation, though she was governor then, wasn't her. It was some other people that really pulled a lot of that together, and a lot of work across the aisle to make that happen. But right now, you know, we've got faces of ACEs. They're telling us, oh, we're going to lose all these jobs. We have more jobs right now on the North Slope than we've ever had. They're making record profits, huge profits. Alaska has enough money in the coffers right now to actually make some change and to do some things that we really need to do as a state. And so it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure they'd love it if we just said, here, you can take it and we'll pay you, which is the fat girl on the date. You don't have to buy dinner to go out. So, Scott, can you talk to this a little bit? Just this whole idea.
It's pretty simple, all right?
Because you love oil.
I love oil, all right? A lot of people in this state, a large majority, make a lot of money off of oil. My neighbor down the street.
Everybody gets a dividend
check. The guy over
check.
there, we all get dividend checks.
No, I mean this is part of the thing.
It's our money, it's our oil, right? But I don't particularly like the oil companies, right? So we have to deal with a group of people that we don't trust and that we don't particularly like. If we say, we're not going to deal with you, we don't trust you, we don't like you, then we don't get our oil sold. Now, we don't want that. We want to be able to sell oil. We have to deal with these people. Now, whether you like them or whether you don't like them, whether you trust them, whether you don't trust them, you still got to deal with them.
Right.
So the point is, you deal with them from the facts. You got facts. There are people in jail because they took money that they shouldn't have taken from the oil companies. That's a fact, right? So you don't trust them. You deal with them on the facts. You make contracts. You hold them to their contracts. And then you move forward.
But the thing is, and I think this is where a lot of us have gotten sideways, is that we have seen people go to jail for selling their vote, right now I'm watching a lot of bills come through Juneau right now. I saw Bert Stedman this week have this proposal that even in the light of this could give $8 billion back to oil companies a year. And he's still like, well, let's do it. It seems like a good idea to me. Checks his pocket watch. Is it oil time yet? Yes, Bert, it is oil time for you. But when you look at what's $8 billion? For every $1 billion that goes back to the oil companies out of the coffers right now, that's equivalent for every $1 billion to a $1,536 dividend check for each man, woman, and child in this state. I don't feel like giving that back to them. I don't think they need it, much less times 8. So if we had people that we could say, look, I trust that you can go do these contracts in Juneau, that you can actually create legislation that protects us, but I don't feel like we've got that buffer zone.
You don't trust your government, Shannyn?
I don't trust my government. And you know what? If you do,
well, there's
you're
something we
nuts.
agree on. Exactly.
No,
well,
you shouldn't.
I don't trust my government.
You should never trust your government. That's why it should be open and transparent. That's why you have checks and balances. If you want faith in something, go to church. But if you want, facts and you want checks and balances, that should be your government. So do you think that Alaskans, we're all sort of in this Stockholm syndrome with the oil companies? I mean, really, where we're sort of leveraged. Kent?
Well, we're all individuals. Those of us, we've been invaded by, as you refer to them, the oilies. And all you have to do is go to the airport and see who's holding down most of the jobs on the slope. All you have to do is see the revolving door that's set up for our youth so that they can't get a job because they have a record to work on the slope and they refuse to train them. Alaskans need to take charge of Alaska. We write the rules. You're up here fishing, whatever. Double hull cruise ship, not the fishing vessels. We need to control Alaska. Alaskans do. And we need to tell them the way it's going to be. We need this and that. We need it. We need to control it. And we're stuck with them. We're absolutely stuck. Hell, I was invited to, Second Amendment gathering the other day. I was on the phone. He couldn't see my eyes. Like, yeah, right. And they were going to sign a letter to impeach our senator that I voted for. And I changed it really. I said, you mean the money he stole out of the $190,000 went right to the mayor, not our senator. And yeah. I said, no. Then I changed the subject. Jesus, I thought it upsets me. I will not be there. I'm a veteran. And I stand under the Constitution. And I don't need anyone to tell me what's right and what's wrong. I was raised by mom and dad in the community. And I support that. And hopefully can pass it on. But I don't know, Shannyn. We just have to give it our best. We're overwhelmed. They control the jobs. They control the money until we...
And the legislature to a huge extent.
All of it. They control. We need the jobs for our people, and we need to control our state. So how we do it, help us with that.
Well, I think it's difficult, and I think we should have this discussion of like how much, yes, acknowledge how much we do need them right now, but also acknowledge that there's been this other issue, and it's been ongoing for a long time because the Supreme Court hearing has changed it so that they're able to actually, they can just come in, spend as much money on campaigns that they want to. They don't have to tell us who's buying them, and they have no limit. Unlike myself, I can give $500 and I have to register, just the same as any of you. The oil companies don't have that sort of limitation right now as it stands. So I think that we need to start having this conversation more.
Yes.
But we'll have to do it after the break. So we'll be right back with our panel. Thanks. All right. This is getting to be one of my absolute favorite parts of the show. They're all my favorite. What can I say? This is when our audience members who are here at Bernie's Bungalow at 5:30 on Thursday afternoons get to ask the questions of myself and the panel.
They're drinking, too.
I know. They are. Adult beverages are plenty. So here's the first one. This is a combined between two. Scott, are you really a neocon, or is it an act? A neocon wouldn't have voted for Obama. And if you are a neocon and you're angry, why weren't you angrier about the previous 8 years before Obama?
You know, I've been angry is not the right word. I myself don't think of myself as an angry person. I understand that politics is the way it is. There's no reason to be angry about it. You know, a rattlesnake's going to bite you, so you just avoid getting bit. You know, you poke with the stick. A neocon, I'm not going to go in the definition, but if you all would just go and maybe look at the definition, the beginnings of the neocon came along with Ronald Reagan. They were actually Democrats that voted for Ronald Reagan. They were called neocons. They were new conservatives. It's all very, it's out there.
So
you can find it.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Do you think that Ronald Reagan should be on the front of the $50 bill?
No, I don't believe Ronald Reagan.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I think he should be on food stamps.